In 1990, Nintendo expanded their game portfolio with a unique title that blended classic puzzle mechanics with the iconic Mario franchise, Dr. Mario for the NES. The game was a departure from the usual platforming adventures of the Plumber hero, and instead placed Mario in a doctor's lab coat, where he faced off against pesky viruses with the power of colored capsules. Designed to capitalize on the puzzle craze started by Tetris, Dr. Mario became an instant hit, solidifying its place as a beloved and addictive title in Nintendo's library. Dr. Mario was developed by Nintendo R&D1, with Gunpei Yokoi, the legendary creator behind the Game Boy and the Metroid series, taking a lead role in its development. By 1990, Nintendo had seen massive success with Tetris on the Game Boy, and puzzle games were rapidly growing in popularity. Nintendo saw an opportunity to create its own puzzle game, but with a twist, they wanted to infuse it with the charm and appeal of the Mario franchise. Hirokazu Tanaka, known for his iconic work on Nintendo's early music and sound design, composed the memorable soundtrack. The tunes, particularly the upbeat Fever and the mellow Chill, became iconic pieces of video game music that are still fondly remembered and remixed today. One of the biggest challenges during development was to ensure that the game could compete with Tetris, which had already set a high bar for puzzle games. Nintendo's team decided that the way to make their title stand out was to focus on color matching mechanics and incorporate a recognizable character, Mario, to give it an edge over other puzzle games on the market. The story is simple and lighthearted, in line with the whimsical nature of early Mario games. Mario has traded his plumber's overalls for a white lab coat and a stethoscope, and he's now fighting against a trio of colorful, mischievous viruses, Fever, Chill, and Weird, that have invaded his lab. Mario's mission is to eliminate these pesky viruses using his medical expertise, which in this case involves throwing capsules, essentially color-coded pills, into a bottle-shaped play area. Each capsule has 2 halves, and by matching 4 halves of the same color, either vertically or horizontally, Mario can clear the viruses. As the levels progress, the viruses increase in number, and Mario's task becomes more challenging, requiring quick thinking and precise placement to save the day. Unlike traditional Mario games, Dr. Mario doesn't have a complex plot or an evil villain to defeat. Instead, the game's narrative is conveyed through its gameplay and the playful animations of the viruses, who react with glee or frustration depending on the player's actions. This minimalist storytelling approach allowed the game to focus on its addictive puzzle mechanics, while still retaining the quirky charm of the Mario universe. Dr. Mario is a tile-matching puzzle game that involves eliminating viruses by using color-coded capsules. The main objective is to clear the screen of viruses. Each virus is color-coded, red, blue, or yellow, and the player must match 4 pieces of the same color to clear them. Mario throws capsules into a bottle, and the player has to strategically rotate and place these capsules to match them with viruses. It's a simple but challenging mechanic that requires both quick thinking and planning. The game offers a variety of difficulty levels, allowing players to adjust the starting number of viruses and the speed at which the capsules fall. This customizable challenge level made the game accessible to newcomers while still offering a tough test for puzzle veterans. As players progress through the levels, the number of viruses increases, and their arrangement becomes more complex, requiring careful strategy to avoid the bottle filling up. One of the standout features was its competitive 2-player mode, where 2 players could face off against each other in a head-to-head virus-clearing battle. Each player had their own bottle, and by clearing multiple viruses in a single move, they could send unwanted capsules to their opponent's screen, creating intense back-and-forth matches. This mode became a fan favorite, and was a major draw for the game. Dr. Mario is perhaps best known for its infectious soundtrack. The game's 2 main themes, Fever and Chill, are catchy, upbeat tunes that perfectly match the fast-paced puzzle action. These tracks have become iconic in the gaming community and are often remixed in later Nintendo games. The sound effects, from the satisfying pop of clearing viruses to the taunting laughter of the remaining viruses, added to the game's charm and gave it a distinctive audio identity. For an NES game, it featured surprisingly detailed visuals. The viruses themselves had playful animations, and their faces would change as the player cleared lines, reacting with annoyance or glee. The bright and colorful graphics helped distinguish Dr. Mario from other puzzle games, giving it a unique visual style that was both appealing and functional. The game's mechanics were easy to grasp but difficult to master, making it perfect for both casual players and hardcore puzzle enthusiasts. The challenge of balancing falling capsules, anticipating future moves, and managing an ever-filling bottle kept players coming back for more. Dr. Mario was praised for its easy-to-learn, hard-to-master gameplay, a formula that would inspire future puzzle games. The inspiration for Dr. Mario came from the idea of a medicine bottle and how pills are used to treat infections. The concept of matching colored pills to eliminate viruses was both simple and unique, making it a refreshing twist on the traditional puzzle genre. It was a novel way to introduce a puzzle game that didn't rely on falling blocks, but instead had a playful theme centered around health and medicine. Mario has had a lot of odd jobs over the years: plumber, carpenter, golfer, referee. But Dr. Mario marked one of his most surprising career shifts. This was the first time Mario appeared as a doctor, a role he would revisit in sequels and spin-offs. Despite the unusual setting, the game cemented Mario's versatility as a character who could fit into virtually any genre. Dr. Mario was released in 1990, late in the NES's life cycle, similar to Kirby's Adventure. Despite the NES being in decline, Dr. Mario became a huge success, both critically and commercially. It demonstrated that there was still demand for new and innovative titles on the aging console, especially ones that could appeal to a broad audience. The competitive two-player mode became a favorite among couples and families. It was seen as a friendly way to introduce non-gamers to the world of video games, and the easy-to-learn mechanics made it accessible to a wide audience. Nintendo even promoted Dr. Mario as a great family game, highlighting its appeal beyond traditional gamers. Dr. Mario was successful enough to spawn a number of sequels and re-releases over the years, appearing on consoles ranging from the Game Boy to the Wii. The game's influence on the puzzle genre is undeniable, and its mechanics have inspired numerous puzzle games since its release. Dr. Mario also became a staple in Nintendo's crossover titles, with the character appearing in the Super Smash Bros. Series as a separate fighter. Dr. Mario wasn't just limited to the NES. It was also released for the Game Boy in 1990, allowing fans to play on the go. The Game Boy version featured the same addictive gameplay, albeit in monochrome, and became a hit in its own right. The portability of the Game Boy allowed it to reach an even wider audience, solidifying its place as a classic puzzle game. The game's medical theme led to a series of educational spin-offs, including Mario's Time Machine and Mario is Missing. These games, while not strictly puzzle titles, were influenced by the educational bent of Dr. Mario and showcased Nintendo's willingness to experiment with genres beyond traditional action platformers. Dr. Mario remains a beloved classic, often cited as one of the greatest puzzle games ever made. Its simple yet addictive gameplay loop, combined with the charming Mario branding, created a game that continues to be enjoyed by generations of players. It proved that Mario wasn't just limited to platformers and could successfully transition into other genres while still retaining his signature charm. The game's competitive two-player mode became a staple of family game nights, and its music continues to be celebrated in gaming culture. The game also paved the way for a wave of similar puzzle games that aimed to emulate Dr. Mario's success, proving that the puzzle genre could thrive alongside action and platforming titles. To this day, Dr. Mario remains a go-to puzzle game for Nintendo fans, whether it's through the original NES version or modern adaptations on newer consoles. Dr. Mario for the NES is a timeless puzzle game that took a familiar character and placed him in an unfamiliar setting, with fantastic results. It captured the imagination of gamers with its catchy music, colorful graphics, and addictive gameplay. Whether you were a kid in the 1990s or are just discovering it today, Dr. Mario stands as a shining example of how Nintendo can take a simple concept and turn it into something truly magical.